friends, our next speaker needs no introduction. He's well known to all of us. He's a veteran of our struggle, Dr. Allan Boesak.
Thank you so very much, everyone who has come here today to join us in this march in solidarity with the people of Gaza and the people of Palestine. We are joining not just our own comrades yesterday in Umhlanga and in Johannesburg and in Pretoria. I saw some marches, but the day before yesterday were 150,000 people on the streets of London for the Palestinian cause. The day before that, our Jewish brothers and sisters in the halls of the United States Congress expressing their solidarity with Palestine. It means to me that the propaganda is no longer working. The tide is turning, and we are part of the tide that is turning. The Israeli government will never rest until we have shown once and for all that oppression cannot last, that tyranny cannot last, that the occupation will not last, that building their existence on the blood of children cannot last. The tide is changing. And as I think of what has been happening, the people have been calling the timeline. When it began in 1898, when the first seeds of that ideology called Zionism was sown, and in 1916, when those two white men sat together, Sykes from England and Picot from France, and divided the Middle East amongst the imperialist powers. 1917, when Balfour sat down to write his declaration, in this very declaration already, Palestinians have been dubbed out, rubbed out, erased, because it talks only about Jewish citizens and non-Jewish citizens. So the plan to have Palestinians erased from their own land and from their own history as their from the very beginning. The question that comes up in my mind is, how long will this last for Palestine? When we think of the resistance time after time, every layer that has been there in 1967, 1973, in the 2000s, 2006 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 12 and 17 and 14 and 22, it's all a sign not just of being the Palestinians trying to be crushed by the Israelis, but it is a sign of resistance. A sign that Palestine is saying, whatever you are doing to us, how long it takes, it does not matter. We will not rest until we are free, and Palestine can stand on its own two feet, and we are saying that to prepare, not them to prepare. And how long will it last? This hypocrisy from the side of so-called Western civilized countries. How long will President Biden go to Israel to express his support for Netanyahu, to express his pain at the killing of Israeli civilians, and yet at the same time not saying a single word about the suffering of Palestinian people for 75 years? How long will the hypocrisy last of people from Europe who fly to Israel to express their unequivocal support? And they act as if there is no history. The way I remember history is that it was Europeans who subjected the Jewish populations in their countries to pogroms and to persecution. Not a Palestinian was part of that. And was the Europeans that ordered the Kristallnacht to destroy Jewish homes and buildings. Is not a Palestinian part of that. It was the Europeans and the Germans who built the concentration camps, who killed the Jewish, innocent Jewish people in their thousands. Not a Palestinian was responsible for that. And yet they take their guilt for their anti-Semitism, for their racism, for their indescribable violence, and they take out their guilt on Palestinian people today, as if they can wash the blood of the Jewish people off their hands with the blood of innocent Palestinian children. And we must say no to that. How long will people will ask that they will veto every resolution in the United Nations that bears Israel to account, like the United States vetoed last week's resolution calling for peace. They speak peace, but their hearts yearn for violence. We are here to say that hypocrisy must end, and it must end now. Know, my brothers and sisters, that South Africa has a special relationship with the people of Palestine on the struggle, have a special relationship with the struggles of the Palestinian people. Nelson Mandela said so many years ago, and he was absolutely right. But if that is true, if South Africa has a special relationship with Israel, that means we must do more than Europe, we must do more than the United States, we must do more than the United Kingdom. We cannot end with riots on North Shore. President Ramaphosa the other day standing with his NEC and speaking as the president of the African National Congress. Now that's all right. He can speak on behalf of the ANC, but I do not want him on this issue to speak on behalf of the ANC. He must speak on behalf of South Africa's people if he is South Africa's president. It doesn't help us for him to stand and repeat all the resolutions that the ANC has taken since the time of Mandela on Palestine, but that same ANC has been too cowardly to take those resolutions and make work of it. I don't want to hear him say, I stand here with the ANC. I do not like that ANC. I do not want that ANC. I don't want him to speak on behalf of the ANC. He must speak on their behalf and on behalf of all those in this country who struggle with Palestine. And say, I want him to say this. Let him not tell us how he loved the Palestinians know. Let him not talk about humanitarian aid and shift the conversation from the occupation to humanitarian aid. Humanitarian aid is not the issue. The occupation is the issue. The killing of children is the issue. The existence of Palestine is an issue. The return to the land is an issue. We must speak about that, and clearly if he wants to speak on our behalf. He is the president of this country, and we, as the people of this country, are saying, Mr. Ramaphosa, stop the talking. You can only do one thing. Tell the embassy of Israel to shut down. Let the ambassador get home. Let all that into president stop. Get home. He can do only one thing, and that is to cut all ties with the apartheid state, because that's what we asked the world to do to our apartheid state. We can do this wrong thing. He can support publicly the campaign for boycott and disinvestment and for sanctions to put the pressure on that apartheid regime as our sanctions campaign put the pressure on this apartheid regime not so long ago. That's what we could do. I do not want any more beautiful and pious words. Pious words cannot be heard by Palestinians who are drowning in their own blood. Pious words cannot be heard by children who are burned to pieces. Palestinians cannot say this we hear South Africa because of the planes that fly over their heads every day and every night. So you must do censor Cyril Ramaphosa. You cannot say you are South Africa's president if you cannot follow in Mandela's footsteps on the question of Palestine. And so that's where we are today. But we know on this Sunday, more than 3,000 people dead already. More than 10,000 children died already. 10,000 people still unhindered, thousands under the river, and a church burned just the other day. And they burned that church because the Israeli government understands the solidarity between Christians and Muslims in Palestine. When they fight together. They pray to the one God together. They stand up for justice together. And so that's where a mosque is born, and that's where a church is also born. But we understand today, Muslims and Christians and Jews, and we say to the Israeli government, it is now, no time is over. Israel as it is today, as an apartheid state, will not exist for very much longer. So when you ask me the question, how long? I say not long. If we come together like we come together today, the answer is not long. If we stand up with Palestine the way we stand today, the answer is not long. If you can put pressure on your government to do what is right, to show real and better solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters, the answer is not long. If we walk together, if we pray together, if we lift up the cry together from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free. If you believe that, and if you do what it says, it shall not be long. If you say, oh no, not long. I know, not long. I know. To Palestine, how long? To Gaza, how long? To Israel, how long? To other people, how long? Not long. Not long. Not long. God bless you all.
Thank you, Allan. Thank you very much. I'm going to call upon Atia Khan, who's going to talk about Salt River and the murals that you just saw.
Right